Hello everyone, and welcome to the first tutorial of our beginner series. Today we're just going to do an introduction. But before I even get to the introduction, I just want to orient you to make certain that you're in the correct series. Because here at Hobnob Games, we have 3 different series of poker tutorials. Our first one is the beginner series. This is mostly geared for players who regularly play at maybe 1-2 or 1-3 stakes and are relative beginners. So we'll cover topics such as like which cards to play, which cards you should be 3-betting, the rule of 2 and 4, how to play sets, how to play straight draws and flush draws, how to play position, and things like wet and dry boards. So if you don't know what any of these things are, you're in the right place. No worries, we're going to cover all these topics and more during the beginner series. Or even if you know these topics but you want to get better at them, you're in the right place. But if you feel like you already know all of this really well, then you might want to consider our intermediate series. This is geared for players that are playing at about the 2-5 stakes level. We'll cover topics in this series such as set mining, exact calculation of pot odds, GTO versus exploitative strategies, how to count combos, an update from wet and dry boards to dynamic and static boards, and topics like delayed c-betting. But even if you feel like you know all of these really, really well, then you might be ready for our advanced series. And our advanced series is really our poker tutorials for players playing at the 5-10 stakes and higher. Well, we cover more advanced topics such as balanced ranges, recognizing unbalanced ranges in your opponents and how to exploit them, range merging, down betting, an advanced topic of GTO versus exploitative strategies, and playing very large stack sizes such as 300 big blind plus. But if you feel like the beginner series is a series for you, you're in the right place. And I encourage you to regularly visit our website at hobnob.games, where we have all of our tutorials from all 3 levels. So a little bit of an introduction today about who I am. My name is Dr. Adriel Boals. I am a professor at the University of North Texas. I'm in the Department of Psychology, where I also serve as the Director of Behavioral Sciences. Now, some poker players ask me, do I use my knowledge of psychology at the poker table? And the answer is absolutely yes. And in fact, I'm going to share with you all of my secrets and knowledge during this tutorial series. I'm also Vice President of Hobnob Games, where we provide opportunities for people to play poker online, and particularly we try to make the games more interactive. For instance, we have tables that require everyone to have a webcam present while they play. So if you're interested in playing on games where you can see your opponents, to make certain that there's no collusion, to make certain you're not playing against bots, but hopefully also where the games are more interactive and social, check out some our games where webcams are required. I'm also the self-proclaimed best quarterback in the state of Texas, not currently on an NFL roster. But most relevant, I'm also a professional poker player. I began playing poker in 2011. I definitely had a passion for the game, and not only for playing the game, but also learning poker strategy and for trying to get better at this game. I read lots of books, and luckily for me, numerous poker pros took me under their wings, and I learned much from them. And I'm going to be sharing with you all the secrets during these tutorial videos. During my first year of playing poker, I was a losing player. During my second year, I was a break-even player. For my third year and every year since, I've been winning, been posting winning sessions every year. And these days, I play the largest games I can find in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So just a little bit about winning poker. Most poker players will tell you that they're either break-even or a slightly winning player, but that's not really true. I think most players are fooling themselves. Memory is very selective, and we tend to remember and overemphasize our winning sessions and tend to conveniently forget and de-emphasize our losing sessions. In reality, only about 15% of people who regularly play poker are long-term winning players. So this is a very elite group of players, and if you stick with me during these tutorial series, I promise you, you can become one of these elite players who wins not just sometimes, but as a long-term winning player. But this winning poker strategy, it involves study. So the fact that you're here on this first tutorial video, if you stick with it, you're already making your first steps towards the study that's necessary. It takes discipline, it takes patience, and above all else, it takes smart decision making. So stick with our Hobnob Poker tutorials, and we'll cover all these topics and more. So in our next tutorial, we'll start going a bit more in depth into poker strategy, talking about which starting cards you should be playing and which ones you should be folding. So again, I encourage you regularly visit our website, hobnob.games. See you next time.